Hello and welcome to my exercise video. James has kindly asked me to do a few exercises and talk you through them to help you deal with this potential time of lockdown. Just give you an idea of my background. I'm a personal trainer, I've got a degree in sports science and I've got a master's in nutrition. So my area of expertise is keeping people active and making the most of this time during lockdown. So let's get started. So the first exercise we are doing is a seated squat. So for this, you'll just need a chair and potentially something to help you balance alongside you, something sturdy, something maybe attached to a wall that's really strong that can take your weight, just to help support you while we're going through the squat movement. So as you can see from the video, it is something that you probably do most days, but let's put a bit more thought into it now. So we're going to focus on keeping our chest upright and then bringing our hips through as we get to the top and squeezing our bum if we can. What we're trying to do during this time is really focus on the muscles that we're working on, developing that mind-muscle connection. It's just a form of mindfulness really, and once you develop that, you become more aware throughout the movements and it'll actually help you retain muscle a bit better. And during this period, we want to retain as much muscle as possible to make sure that we are fit, well and mobile when this period ends. So as you can see, standing up nice and upright, gently lowering myself to the seat, not rocking forward too much, but if you need to gain the momentum, that's perfectly fine to use that as well. And later on, you'll see me use the radiator alongside me. It wasn't turned on, don't worry, to help assist me getting up, just in case I needed it. It just gives you that little bit of stability there to help you drive through. For these exercises, I probably would stay in quite a comfortable range, maybe about 60% of sort of towards your maximum amount of reps you could do. So for some people that might be 5, might be 10, and what I'd recommend is to do these maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times a day if you can. Don't burn yourself out because we don't want it to affect you moving around the house during the day, going for your activity during the walk, during that activity period. But if we can build those amount of work that you're doing through these exercises, you'll see massive benefits over the long term. The next exercise is a wall press up. So this is just working our chest and our arms, helping develop that strength to push things away. It might help us build that stability as well through our shoulders and through our wrists and things. So as you can see, one thing on this we want to do is just focus on keeping everything else tight. So if you can squeeze your bum and suck your belly button in at the same time, that will help keep your midsection nice and strong. And then we want to be able to push through and really focus on pushing all the way through. Setting your distance away from the wall is pretty important on this one. So I'd say starting close to the wall initially. If you're finding that too easy, then take a slight step back. The further back you go, the harder it will be, the more weight that you'll actually have to push away and lower down. 2 things to focus on is actually lowering yourself away from to the wall as well. It's really important. That part of the movement will actually help us be able to control stuff as it slowly comes onto us. So help you brace yourself, and then also concentrating on your breathing throughout. So you want to almost like we're blowing the wall away each time. Again, same with the squats. We want to build up with a nice comfortable range. So if that's only 3-4 reps each time, doing that a couple of times a day and then building those reps up over time will really, really benefit us. So this exercise is called YTWAs, and it's just called that because we make a Y shape with our arms, make a T shape with our arms, make a W, and then an A. It's going to focus on our upper back and the back of our shoulders in there as well. What we want is nice, healthy shoulders to keep us nice and stable when we move, but also promote a good posture as well. So you want to move through these nice and slowly. If you can't bend over as much as you can. So even if that's a slight lean forward, you'll feel it working. All these movements, you want to work through them with nice control as well. We don't want to be dropping into our squats or throwing our arms up. The slower we can do them, the better, and it will build that mind-muscle connection, but also work the muscle a bit better as well. So we want to work into a Y shape, a T shape right outside us, and really try and pin almost like a pencil between your shoulder blades there. And then a W, this one's quite hard because you get your elbow up and then go back. So even if you are doing this, just even getting to there is perfectly fine because that's going to work one of your rotator cuffs in there, which is quite a small group, but it's really, really important that we keep those nice and strong. And then the A, we want to keep our palms towards the ground. So like that, and then down, and that'll work the back of our shoulder again. So really important movement. Again, if you can go through each one, so the Y, the T, the W, and the A, go through those 5 to 10 times, and then a couple of times a day. you'll really feel the benefits on the back of your shoulders and your posture. This is the penultimate exercise, so we've got step-ups now. So step-ups are really important because it helps us work the big leg muscles again, same as our squats. But this one will really work on our glutes, and glutes do a lot to support our lower back. And we want to try and keep everything nice and healthy in that lower back range as much as possible. So I've just got a small step here, that's all you need, and we really want to focus on nice controlled movements, controlling our steps each time instead of trying to throw ourselves up and use momentum. Just going through and nice and slowly and feeling all the muscles work as much as we can, and then softly lowering ourselves back down again. It's really important again that we focus on both parts of movements, the actual step up and then lowering ourselves down on this. If you can do it in a doorway nice and safely, because safety is the most important thing throughout all of these exercises, or you've got somewhere that you can hold on to that's nice and sturdy again, so maybe a handrail. Again, it's really important. It just offers you that bit of protection, enabling you to go potentially a little bit further, or even if you start without the handrail and then once you get a little bit fatigued or a bit tired, then you can start to use it to get a few more reps out each time, take a nice break then, and then we can go on with the rest of our day, potentially do another 2 or 3 times throughout the day. For these, again, it's really important for our mobility during the day that we can attack stairs and not feel like we need to really worry about them. The more that we can do with these exercises, the better. And it'll help us, again, once this isolation period's over, we'll probably feel the benefits there. The last exercise is a single leg balance. Again, getting something nice and sturdy. I've got a chair in this video. And this is to develop something called our proprioception, which basically means our balance and being able to manage our balance on joints. Single leg balance is really important because if we're not quite balanced and sturdy and can control our weight, then we've got a higher risk of falling, which is not good. So we want to be able to develop this balance as best we can. So things like yoga are really good for this sort of stuff. If you need to, make sure you're in a nice, safe environment as well, and make sure you've got something sturdy to hold on to. I definitely start holding on to something, and then as you develop and you get more confident with the movement and start to get a bit stronger through your legs, then you can start to go to single hand, or even just placing your fingertips on it so it's there just in case, and then eventually moving up to a hands-free version. So for these, what we want to focus on is, whilst we're lifting the leg throughout all these movements, we want to be working our core as well. So focusing on almost pulling our belly button towards our spine. That'll keep the midsection quite strong and stable, which is really, really important. But then also means that we're working our core across all these movements. That means our core's going to get really strong as well. Strong core is at the center, and then that makes all the movements a lot easier as well. So potentially when you're carrying things, going up the stairs, even just bending over, a strong core will make all those things on a day-to-day basis a lot easier. So there you have 5 exercises that you can work through. With all of these, I'd probably start, if you're finding it particularly tough, then maybe just aim for 5 reps, 2 to 3 times a day on each. So 5 repetitions. If it's single leg or single arm or anything that's one each side, then do 5 each side. And you might find there's a difference as well when you're doing single leg stuff. So potentially work on the weaker side first, or side that doesn't find it as easy, and then matching it with the stronger side to try and bring that weaker side up in line with your strong side. Again, 2 to 3 times a day, a couple of times a week, really, really beneficial to developing strength and stability throughout your body, which is really, really important. And then also retain as much sort of active muscle as possible, which will improve how we come out of this lockdown period, but also give you some challenges to do. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you need to find me at all, then just get in contact with James, or I'll be in the group